So talking of paths, you were obviously in distribution. You obviously did well. Then you got attracted to Tanium. Now, Tanium, as I said, weren't a. I know they've been going since 2007, but they weren't a massive, massive brand maybe in the UK. And you were the first person in the channel team. So what made you attracted to the role in the company and the opportunity?
So first thing was I saw the technology.
Right.
So when I joined Tanium 2017, our chairman, David Indawi, interviewed everyone that joined. Okay. And the one question he always asks is why Tanium and why now? And my answer back to him on the why now is it shouldn't have been why now. It should have been 2 years ago when I first approached you. So I was attracted by the technology. Right. So I knew at 14 I wanted to go into IT. I was writing my own code. I was selling code when I was 15. And I knew I wanted to be into IT. And I was always attracted by that kind of geekiness that is associated with it. I saw the technology, 2 years prior in 2015. Went home, and it's the only time and the first time, went home, found out who the CEO was for this organisation called Tanium, and I pinged him on LinkedIn and said, I want to come and work for you. And at that point, I'd been working for another company, Good Technology, who had just been acquired by BlackBerry for 5 years. Right? I wasn't necessarily looking to leave, but I saw this technology and it kind of took hold of me. And it was like, if they can really do that, I want kind of part of that. And I can see where it's going to go. And I think I had the wherewithal to have a good view, a good pick on that technology. And I pursued them, literally pursued them. It took me 2 years to get in. And then when a good friend of mine and a good working buddy of mine, a guy called Matt Ellard, he tipped up as the SVP for EMEA, I was straight knocking on his door and I said, look, I want in.
Oh,
and 6 weeks later, I was in.
Now, as I understand it, Tanium sell direct as well. We were certainly selling direct at the time. But as you told me over lunch, that over last quarter, it was only 1% was direct. So
it was.
So how's that shifted from you joining and now? Because that's a big shift.
It's a huge shift, right? And it's not just transactional selling and fulfillment that we're doing. So came in 2017, relatively small revenues at that point in time, and 30% of those revenues were going through in a fulfillment basis through partners who had a supply chain contract with the large enterprises that we were selling to. 2022 Q1, we're at 99% of all of our business has gone through channel in terms of being transacted, but more importantly, over 40% of it was partner created. So you've now got this wave of partners who have bought into working with Tanium, and it's not been overnight. It never is with a platform. We've now been working with Tanium, who are now starting to see the benefit. They're starting to trust us. They're starting to understand that we do what it says on the tin. So we said in 2017 we were going to be partner first, and we said that we were going to grow that 30% to as high as we could conceivably get it. And if that meant going to 100%, that was fine. And we articulated to them a way in which we were going to do it. We talked about what a good partner fit was. We were very honest with the channel in terms of how they would get an ROI and the costs and time associated with that. When you're selling a platform, very, very different from selling a point solution. But we were bluntly honest, really, really honest with what we said we were going to do. And the leadership followed the mantra. And that messaging from the leadership down into the sales organization and down into the field was harmonious. There was no air in between it. And we pushed that down. And, delighted to say that's where we are in Europe. And actually what we've done in Europe has now started to change the philosophy at the headquarters. So, you've got this American organization, an American basis, that grew out of being a direct sales organization for the first 8 years of its life, brings on an international business, understands that it needs a channel to get to market, starts to see what the channel starts to bring to it in those international markets and says, hey, I want some of that. How'd you do that? And so a lot of the best practice we've developed in Europe is now being deployed into the States and are now global programs. So it's been great.
Now, I believe you're quite selective with your partners. And you alluded to it over lunch. It could be an array of different ones. It could be a top 10 partner. It could be a niche partner. It could be advisory. Why are you so selective? Why aren't you going out to every partner and knocking down the door and saying, right, you've got to use Tanium?
Yeah. So our product isn't right for every partner. Okay, so first of all, to the point I made earlier, it's a platform sale rather than a point solution. And the time it takes for a partner to get ready to sell a platform and to be able to derive the services revenue, the sales capability to be able to sell a platform to an end user is a lot longer than it is on a point solution. So we've been very honest with the channel in terms of here's what your investment cycle is going to look like, and you are going to have to put bodies and cash and effort up front, because like I say, no one's waking up in the morning. It doesn't, but as long as they can see and they start to see what our platform does, and our organisation is probably one of the few where I've seen our technology deployed in as many partners. So some of our large global integrators and advisories are users of Tanium themselves. So their own IT departments have used it. And when you've got that kind of referenceability in global systems integrators, they start to understand it. I think the other thing is, as we started to knock down some large enterprises, and we started large, and we've kind of grown our segmentation and gone into the mid-market now, but that started to attract a natural group of channel partners to come and want to talk to us. But we've been very honest with them in terms of how long it will take to get to that market.
So when you want to establish a channel partner, I mentioned James Hardy. You know, I like James, nice guy, good company, CCS Media. Are you knocking down their door to sort of go and speak to them, or are you letting your case studies and your work so people apply to you? Because Tanium's very well known now. You know, I'm in recruitment. I hear about Tanium all the time now. You know, I know the deal that you've done with Computer Center, and I thought, right, this is a really established brand, great product. So is your channel sales team going out to partners and educating them on to use Tanium, or are you trying to do it for distribution?
No. So what we've done is, so I've got quite a large channel account team. We've worked with distribution for 5 years. That's been a journey, okay? Yeah. So when we've been operating in the first 4 of those years, I'd say we've been operating with no more than a dozen partners across Europe. And it's kind of hard that one of the core values that a distributor can bring you is an audience. And when you don't want a big audience, you kind of take away a lot of their value add that they can bring you. Tanium's a product that's now starting to disseminate to users of 300 endpoints and above. When I first started, it was 10,000 endpoints. So our addressable market's changed, and so has the partner type that's being attracted into Tanium. Yeah. And part of that journey has been through distribution and has been highlighted to us through distribution. So we work with exclusive networks exclusively. Okay, we want them to get a return on their investment and their training, just like we want our second tier partners to get an investment and return on their training. But now what we're asking them to do is different. We're asking them to help us identify partners that can take us into 10,000 endpoints and below. And that partner type looks different. And so maybe they should be knocking on the door of CCS Media. Yeah. So I won't say we were ever closed to it, but we were very careful in terms of what segmentation we played in versus where the partner played in. And if they didn't play in our segment, then we would qualify away from each other.
So exclusive networks across Europe, that's who you're using, but your addressable market's changed. Is your strategy going to change now in terms of, you might think, oh, actually, I could use Infinigate, I could use Distology, I could use other distributors, or actually, I could go and get my channel sales team to go to the top 100 VARs, educate them on the platform, and then pull it back through exclusive networks. Are you going to start changing your strategy to go to market? Because you're, like you said, if everyone's thinking actually this is just an enterprise platform, there's a lot of partners out there that don't even play in that space. Yeah. So is your strategy to go and educate the market change as well?
Yeah, I think, look, so first of all, are we looking for additional distributors? No. Yeah, we're committed to exclusive. We see that commitment being reciprocated, and whilst that holds true for both parties, then I don't see the need to go out to more distributors. Yeah. We listen. Yeah, of course we listen. Yeah, we're stupid not to. So if someone's got a proposition out there, then we'll listen to it, but we've not found one yet. Yeah. But yeah, our strategy is I've hired people that now work with distributors to leverage their relationships, to leverage their understanding of the channel, to take us to people we didn't know. Yeah, who can get us into that new marketplace. And that's starting to hold true. So we have a strategy whereby we concentrate on the one and the power of one. And the one is our singular distributor, and the power of that distributor is their relationships and where they can get to in the marketplace that we just can't touch.